Decimator, and I'm going to talk to you about how librarians are more than cats and cardigans! Libraries and social justice! I am a librarian. I have been in the library field for about 10 years now. I have worked in prison libraries, city libraries, public libraries, academic libraries, private libraries, in your house, in your shame. So I have a master's degree in archives management, which is basically libraries but with more dust. And so in case you didn't notice, I'm super white. I'm from Connecticut. If I was a sandwich, I would be mayonnaise on Wonder Bread. That is how white I am. So please bear that in mind. I am an authority on libraries, not an authority on social justice. I just know what I see in my day job. So what is social justice? It is the equitable distribution of privilege within a society, and that includes everything from political and economic power to health and wellness opportunities to education. It permeates everything in our society. We should all be paying attention to it. So you might be familiar with these three images. We have equality, equity, justice. Equality, no accommodations are made, everyone is treated the same. Equity, accommodations are made so that people access resources equally, and justice removes the barriers. That's what libraries focus on. I'm behind. So what is a library? It's fucking rad, that's what it is. It's books, it's free shit, but most importantly, it's a place for all people without exception. Pulse is the only thing you need to come into a library. So we're kind of a unique government organization, in public libraries at least, because we regularly work to reassess our policies and procedures and work to distribute resources to our immediate communities based on what they want, not what we think they want. So we want to interact with our immediate community, and your personal traits, where you're from, who you are, does not affect your access to resources. We're like, you have a pulse, fucking take this shit, take this shit, take this shit. All right? So in library stuff, there's the myth of libraries as neutral spaces where we treat everyone the same. That's bullshit. Neutrality disregards the needs of specific communities and individuals, which is not what we want to do. We want to give people things that they need, not things we think that they need. So modern public libraries strive to provide services to communities based on the actual inhabitants of those communities without imposing blatant heteronormative and or white supremacist systems. Librarians are overwhelmingly white. We're working on changing that. So a couple of examples of social justice. Computer and internet access. Not everyone has a smartphone, not everyone has a computer. A lot of people don't know how to use a computer or send an email. So libraries provide free access to the internet, free trainings on how to use technologies, how to use digital resources. We remove economic barriers. You don't have to give us any money. Technically your taxes pay for us, but a lot of times we're funded by private donations and grants. We don't have membership fees, and again, we do free trainings to help you get your GED, to practice for the GRE, to do the GMAT, to learn how to fucking make sauerkraut. We're doing a class on sauerkraut at the library tomorrow. We're also a free public meeting space. You don't have to give us money to hang out all day. You can come in, sit down, do whatever you want, as long as it's not like pooping on the floor, which does happen, and we're not going to kick you out. We also highlight First Amendment rights. So there's lots of banned and challenged books. A lot of those banned and challenged books, they disproportionately feature LGBTQ and POC individuals or by LGBTQ or POC individuals. So we highlight those things, highlight those books, and try to make sure that our libraries have visible individuals. We also, if you ever time Google the Connecticut Four, they're librarians that stood up to the CIA. Yeah. So one of the biggest things in libraries is your privacy. When you come into the library, if the cops come in looking for you, we don't tell them you're in there. We don't give any government organizations your records, and a lot of government organizations target minority groups for reasons that are really shitty. So we're not perfect. As I said, we're mostly white ladies. Melville Dewey made the Dewey Decimal System. He was an asshole. Look him up if you got the time. We do try to do better though, and that is through reassessing our policies and distributing resources. So an example that I love is the Seattle Public Library's bookmobile. They have this bookmobile that goes out to many, many daycares and preschools in the Seattle region. They took a look at the preschools they were going to and realized they were primarily in wealthy white areas. So they redistributed their resources to have the bookmobile go to preschools that mainly catered to families that lived at or below 300% of the federal poverty level. My thing's over, but I'm not. Or had people with disabilities, children with disabilities, and it was a huge success. So that's all. I'm done talking. Thank you for listening.